Hi, it's Paul Sohn, and my calling is to clarify your unique calling. Today in this video, I'm going to be distinguishing if your work is a job, a career, or a calling. I'll share a couple takeaways at the end of this video on how to make sense of these terms and apply it on your own personal life. So keep watching. Remember the last time you were introduced to someone? What was one of the first questions you asked? You probably asked, what do you do? Why do we ask this question? It's because work plays a central role in our identity and our purpose in life. In fact, the average person will spend 90,000 hours at work over a lifetime. That's roughly about a third of your waking life. I came to notice that everyone in life has some tension between what they think they were meant to do and what they really want to do and what they have to do. And with that in mind, let me break down these three words for you. So first, a job is primarily about making a living. Your job might be part of your career or part of your calling, but the connotation of a job is actually closer to getting paid for your time than for your skills. Are you working at a fast food joint? That's a job. Are you working in a part-time gig as a barista? That's probably a job as well. For people who see their work with a job orientation, sees work as a necessary evil. They tend not to like what they do or are at best indifferent to it. If another job came along that offered better pay and benefits, they take it at a heartbeat. But here's the great thing about a job. It doesn't have to be awesome. It doesn't have to fulfill you. It doesn't have to be joyful. It just has to pay. Now, I want you to imagine an administrative assistant who sees her work with a job orientation. She may say something along the lines of this: I'm working here because it was the only job available in the market. It's okay, but it is not my life. I'm more interested in my family right now. So second, let's talk about career. A career is a sequence of jobs in a similar field. In fact, the word career originates from the medieval Latin noun carraria, which means a road for vehicles, hence the term career path. So for example, think about a doctor. This doctor may begin his career as a general physician. Then he gains experience and he becomes a surgeon. Finally, while working as a surgeon, he also becomes a lecturer in the field of his expertise in medicine. So when we talk about his career, he was a doctor, he was a surgeon, and a lecturer. And all these jobs belong to the same field of medicine. People can also view their work from a career orientation. They typically find their self-worth from what they had achieved and accomplished on the job. They may like the work, but it pales in comparison to the rush they get climbing the corporate ladder. Success is defined by promotion, power, or prestige. Being seen as successful is extremely important for those who have a career orientation. They are the types who might even rent a BMW to drive to a high school reunion. So going back to the example of the administrative assistant with a career orientation, she might say something like this: I really want to move up. I'm working towards becoming the CEO's assistant. I want that office on the top floor. I want to be seen as a person with power and access to the people in this organization. So if a job and a career is about making a living and advancing in the ranks, a calling is what you were born to do. And just to be clear, I'm referring here to specifically vocational calling. Your vocational calling is the point where your talents, your passions, and life experience intersect and you're most able to change the world around you. So people with a calling orientation see their work as a way to make meaning from the 9 to 5 and somehow make the world a better place for people. So going to the same administrative assistant example, with a calling orientation, she might say, I take a lot of pride in solving our customers' problems before they ever reach my supervisor's desk. I consider myself an integral element in the success of our company, and I enjoy the challenges I face each day. So here's a couple of thoughts on this. I understand that this job versus career versus calling distinction could be unrealistically simplistic, and people are complex with a number of different motivations for why and how they approach the work they do. But this hopefully will give you some language to see how you work today. So let me share 4 takeaways for you. Number 1, you may retire of your job or career, but you never retire of your calling. My calling is to clarify the leader's unique calling. That's my personal calling. And of the ways I actually live out my callings is to actually write books as an author. That would be my job. However, let's say the publishing industry might disappear someday because people just won't be reading any books anymore. If that's the case, my career or job will end as an author. However, my calling will not. Number 2, in an ideal world, your job may be a subset of your career, and your career may be a subset of your calling. So for example, my calling is to help leaders live out their unique calling. So I may choose to live out my calling by choosing a career in teaching. And my occupation may be a professor. So your calling informs your career, and your career informs the type of job you should take. Third, your occupation and your vocation may not overlap, and also that's fine actually. That's actually part of life. Our hopes and our dreams may not match the realities before us. There are a lot of people today who follow Jesus in spheres of service outside the workplace. You know, I think of a man in Wall Street who finds deep meaning and joy as Sunday school teacher on the weekends. Or what about a young woman, a singer by profession, says her true passion comes through her volunteer work on behalf of racial injustice issues. Fourth, your primary calling, which is the calling to love God and your neighbors, can also transform how you see your everyday job. Sometimes even the most boring and repetitive jobs can become an arena for service as we listen to the caller trying to guide us and grow us in our giftings and character. I think, for instance, of that young man who turned his bartending job, a job he got in order to pay the bills when he moved to New Orleans soon after the Hurricane Katrina, into a ministry for Christ, as he simply listened in an empathetic and a compassionate way to the painful stories being poured out to him. So I hope these clarifications help you understand that you are created for work, and that work is a big part of what it means to be human. I don't know about you, maybe you currently see your work as a job and you feel stuck and you really want to do something about it. You want your work to matter. You want your work to be a calling. And I definitely understand it is actually a process. And I hope that understanding and differentiating the 3 words, a job, a career, and calling, helps you to go into a direction where you see your work more of a calling. So I actually love to hear from you. If you see your work as a job or career or calling, please comment below and just let me know your thoughts, and I'd love to engage with you and help you really live out your unique calling. Thank you very much.